This video introduces a new topic, something we call special events. That's a term we came up with to describe travel, the end-of-the-year holidays, and other non-routine times. Early on in our program, we realized that travel was very demanding and often triggered relapses. Next, we saw that the holidays, which can involve travel and entertaining, among other things, had a similar effect. And we know we aren't alone in that observation. When the Seafood Association held a webinar on pacing for the holidays in 2010, more than 90% of participants said they experienced a relapse during the holidays or similar events. Over time, people in our program suggested other non-routine events that triggered relapses. These included family events like birthdays and weddings, family crises like serious illness or deaths, moving and remodeling, having surgery, having people over for dinner or as house guests, and for some people, something as simple as going to a restaurant or a doctor's appointment. For some people, any trip outside the house can trigger a relapse. What all these events share in common is being non-routine times that often cause relapses. So let me add those here. Two characteristics of special events is that they're non-routine and they often lead to relapses. Knowing that so many different events could trigger relapses showed us that they aren't that they aren't rare, but rather they're frequent occurrences. So that's the third element, is that they are, common. So special events are non-routine events that often lead to relapses, and they happen frequently in the lives of people with CFS and fibro. The next thing about them is that because they are different from normal everyday life, they require a special approach or special strategies. So that's going to be the fourth point. They require special strategies or a different approach than you take to everyday life. Pacing is always a challenge, but it can be especially challenging during special events because they carry a double whammy. They're more demanding than everyday life just because they take us out of our normal routines, and this is a danger just by itself. But second, they often come with expectations and pressure, which can be either internal or imposed by others. So special events present a challenge. How can you enjoy the event without triggering a relapse? Before discussing how we answer that question, let me say a few words about relapses. Those words are post-exertional malaise. This term refers to the intensification of symptoms that results from overdoing, from being active beyond one's limits. The key fact about post-exertional malaise is that it's out of proportion to the overdoing. You may be outside your limits for an hour and then need to spend the rest of the day in bed. Post-exertional malaise is like being charged an overdraft fee when you write a check that's larger than the balance in your account. The penalty is out of proportion to the infraction. Somebody who experienced that in spades was a person in our program named Rose, who for several years experienced relapses that lasted 6 months as a result of 1-week visits from her daughter and granddaughter. Then she used our 3 rules for special events to handle another visit. Those rules are, let me put them down here. First, take extra rest before, during, and after the event. Then second, do detailed planning. And third is discussion. Talk over your plan with the other people who are involved to gain their understanding and cooperation. When Rose used these 3 rules to handle another visit from her daughter and granddaughter, she recovered from the visit with 2 days of rest after they'd left. Instead of a family visit leading to a long relapse, it was an experience of control through pacing. And it was no fluke. She's used the same 3 strategies for 3 years now and experienced the same success. The message in her experience is, just as the punishment of post-exertional malaise is out of proportion to the overdoing, the rewards of pacing can be out of proportion too, in the other direction. Rose's experience is discussed in detail in the video titled Relapse Success House Guests, and the 3 rules for special events are described in more detail in the next video.